Today I am giving away the most amazing custom build we've ever made, and this is going to my very first customer. I am so happy to be able to give this bike away. But first of all, I've got to show you what we did with this bike because it is incredible. In this video, I want to show you the entire creative process, how you sit down with the designer, how you decide how you want your paintwork done, how Tom created this amazing bicycle, and we're going to introduce you to the very lucky owner of this bike and why she deserves it so badly. So we're here today with Tom. We've got an absolutely raw carbon frame from Time. Thank you so much for that. We'll explain where this is going in a second. But Tom, you own a custom painting business. And we first met when Tom just walked into our shop and said, hey, look, this is the quality of work that we do. Like, can we work together? And I'm like, hell yeah, we can. And then I reached out to Time and said, you know, you do those ready to paint frames. You fancy a project? And now here we are. So we've got a folder full of your ideas. Yep. And what I really want to show you guys is the creative process when you buy a ready to paint frame and you meet with someone like Tom, what sort of experience you can expect. So Tom, do you want to show us what you've come up with?
Absolutely. So what we've got here is a couple of things which we're using for inspiration, and then we've got a couple of colour swatches and design ideas as well. So the first one that we spoke about this on the phone, and we've seen this before. It's a rendering actually, so not a real car of it's a Porsche by Glenn Caudle. So check him out on Instagram. What we really liked here was those like pastel colours, like crisp, clean lines. The theme we were going for was this overall like vintage Alpine. So we've got a few posters here.
Because the frame is the Alpe d'Huez, and so that instantly sparks an inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that vintage feel on these Alpine like tourist posters almost.
Yeah, the Henry Rivers. If you go to Alpe d'Huez and anywhere in skiing, you'll see these everywhere.
And then this is a Henry Red, which is a Chamonix poster, which is like very famous from 1933. I love the gradient and the font on this.
The font's amazing.
It's so cool, like real classic. And I also like what I see in both the Porsche design and this Chamonix poster here is this like big split down the middle with like a bit of a difference on each side, and the same on the Porsche. So I thought that's something quite cool we could go for. So if you're going for the pastel colours, being the Alpe d'Huez and road bike, we're going for like summery, brighter colours than like necessarily the winter posters.
This works really well because this is the ADHX, which is their all-road. I like where you're going. Interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. So a bit of a vintage feel to it, some blocky pastel colours. So I've printed off some colour swatches which we tend to use. This is definitely not the way to pick a colour because, you know, printers, computer screens, but we're going for those kind of like pastels. We've obviously got the Time red here, Map Dex green.
Potentially
get some in there as well. And then being the Alpe d'Huez, I couldn't resist getting some polka dot on there as well.
It'd be hard not to, wouldn't it?
Hard not to, exactly. So is there anything jumping out at the moment with what we've kind of spoken to here?
This just strikes to me. I mean, I can just imagine a bike looking something like this Porsche. I love the fact that you tie it into the whole Alpine, Alpe d'Huez. I think if you took your bike to the Alps, you would see these posters and the connections will start being made
completely,
which I really like.
No, exactly.
I'm not quite sure how you're going to put these cool fonts in.
Well, I've had a go. So the process we like to go through is we start off with just a blank frame like this. Yeah. So you've got your ideas, you're starting to get some ideas together. You may be thinking about some colours, and then you've got the templates you can work with. So I've had a go very roughly like putting a few ideas together and throwing it on. And so we've got that blocky crisp pastel colours from the Porsche, kind of like throwing them on there, going for a bit of a gradient into the Time logo itself. The Alpe d'Huez X, you know, I'm trying to throw some details on there, and the polka dot on the inside arch of that fork, you know, really trying to like show the shape there. Trying to bring in the raw carbon design on the inside of the back here.
Oh, interesting. I did wonder where you're going to put that. Okay, so I'm loving where we're going with this.
Cool. So then throwing that together onto a quick mock-up.
Oh wow!
This is where we've kind of got to, and completely up for any ideas, any inspiration, any thoughts you've got, and go from there really.
Yeah. So the background colour is this kind of pastel-y sand colour, I guess. Yeah. Pastel white sand, like almost like a desert island beach. Or something.
Like ivory, like off-white, and I think it's trying to give that classic pastely vibe rather than just going straight white. What I like about that is the contrast it gives to the other colours.
I'm just trying to imagine the order of operations that you might have to do to layer this all up so that all the colours get the right primer and get the right stuff as well. Are you looking at that freaking out, or are you excited for this?
No, you can let me worry about that. Yeah, there'll definitely be a little bit of head scratching sitting down, working through the layers, and like I say, that's why we do that test board.
Really, I'm super excited. You'll promise to film as much as you possibly can, so we really get like the detail. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much, Tom. This is an exciting project.
Cheers, Paul. Pleasure. First stage is the primer stage. The primer we're using is really, really good. It gives great adhesion to the frame, and it will dry rock hard. So that gives us a perfect layer to build our paint up on top of, ready to paint. And before we dive in, I want to really quickly chat about colour. We've ended up with 15 colours. Now, if you ask a designer, probably too many colours, but this is custom paint. This is the design we've gone for, so we've got 15. Mixed all of these in-house. I particularly like this orange. Is a fantastic colour. It's almost like a burnt orange colour, quite nice earthy tones. This burgundy is really nice as well. Hopefully stand out when it contrasts with this ivory base we're putting on the frame. Okay, so the bike is fully ready to go. We're masked off, we're clean, paint's mixed, we know the designs, we know what we're doing, so we're ready to go. The way we're going to paint this first is by doing the ivory colour all over the bike, so that sets that background for it. We've masked off inside of the chain stays and the seat stays. We're going to preserve that and leave that as raw carbon and then do the design on the rest of the frame. We're then going to use our stencils and masking to ghost on the various different design elements, so the different shapes and colours, and then the branding, the big time branding we've got going down the sides as well. Okay, so the frame is lacquered. I think it's looking really, really good. And it almost looks finished, however, we're still a little way to go yet. What we're going to do now is we're going to flat this lacquer back. What that does is removes any edges from any stenciling and masking we've been doing, and it helps get that lacquer really, really flat. And that actually makes the lacquer go quite matte, and it looks quite good like this, but it's time to bring that gloss back with some final coats of lacquer. So this time the lacquer is a bit thinner. We're going to lay that really flat on top. Once that's cured, we can then take it away and polish it. Okay, so we've reached the final stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some really fine sandpaper and make sure our top surface of lacquer is completely smooth. And then once we've done that, we need to bring back the gloss, bring back the shine. So we're going to be using a polisher and some polishing compound. The end result will be a dead flat and shiny finish, which gives us that perfect mirror shine. Okay, so we are done. Really happy with how that final flat and polish came out. Took quite a while, there's quite a lot of patience there, but yeah, it's really brought that gloss back. I love seeing the frame unfold together, how the polka dot goes with the rest of the bike. Really, really cool. So all that's left to do now is get it in a box and get it back down to Paul, and I know he's got something really cool lined up for it, so I can't wait to see the build come together and see it as a final bike.
Nice work, Tom. This looks absolutely stunning. I am absolutely blown away by the quality. I cannot wait to give this to Sally. Now, I just want to run through the build that we did here. You've seen us build bikes before, but this is the spec that we've put together. And I want to start with these wheels because we went with a Hope hub because Sally is really familiar with the Hope system and she can service those herself. In fact, most of her bike and all the wheels that we built her have all come with Hope hubs. This is the Hope Pro 4 on the back, which I still think is a better sealed and a better hub than the new Pro 5s, but there is a Pro 5 on the front. Now, we have laced these up onto a set of Mavic all-road. These are the 1022 rims, an aluminium rim. Again, something that Sally really likes. She really enjoys aluminium rims because she can just get tire levers on there and be more aggressive with them. And we've built these up with spokes, thanks to our friend Spokes and Ryan for these and sending them through so quickly. We've also used red aluminium nipples. Now, we are using aluminium against aluminium, so we don't have that massive corrosion problem like we do with carbon wheels. This is actually a pretty good combination. Now, the big news is we've actually used the brand new Shimano GRX 12-speed mechanical system on here, a 40-tooth chainring on the front here, and an 11 through to 45 on the back. And these, of course, with the shortest cranks we can possibly get, which are 170, which I still think is a little bit on the long side. Here at the cockpit, we've just gone for our favourite base spec, if you like. These are the Deda 01 specifications. I like the shape of the stem. It sort of matches the shape of the top tube on Time bikes, and I think they work together really nicely. And we've gone for our favourite bar tape. This is from Berg Cycling, a lovely little company based out of New Zealand. I love all this contour detailing on the bar tape. Looks absolutely absolutely stunning. And of course, one last finishing touch to make sure the pedals match. These are the Look X-Track pedals in a special limited edition beige colour, which I just think finishes the whole bike off. Absolutely beautiful. I think she is going to love it. Sally is going to turn up any moment now, but this is the first time you've seen the bike built up.
Yeah, fully
I can't
built.
wait to hand over. What do you think, Tom?
I think it looks absolutely awesome. Seeing it fully built together and how you've kind of brought the different colours through the different components looks awesome.
Oh, we had to try and find some components that really just match this frame. So one thing I had to ask you, the process of all these little polka dots, how hard were they to do?
Well, I'm going to blame any future hair loss on those polka dots because it was quite stressful. So what we did first was spray the forks fully white, and then so we mask off the inside of the fork with all the small polka dots, and we do it in 2 stages. So we're using transparent red paint, and the colour behind the transparent paint dictates like how it looks in the final form.
Ah, clever. Yeah.
So the outside of the logo we spray grey, and we keep the inside of the T logo white. So then when we spray the transparent red over the top, you've got the 2 different shades.
It is amazing. It completely changes like the resolution. It's one of those bikes that the more you get into it, you're like, oh, that's really clever. Oh, look at that. It's got like a little sun pattern there. And like, oh my God. Oh, and like, it just brings you into the frame. The more you look at it, the more you get excited by it.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear.
It was so worth the time, I promise you. So the question that I think everyone's going to be asking right now is if they've got their mind on their own custom project and they buy an RTP frame from Time, what gives a ballpark? What might this cost?
Yeah, exactly. So something like this would be in the region of £600.
Okay.
And one of the big factors is like how much time we put into actually like designing it, and then the real complex masking of bringing it to life. What's awesome about these bikes is that they come ready to paint. Like we mentioned before, so we don't have to spend ages like stripping paint off and prepping
Save
it.
so much of your time. Yeah, absolutely.
I've very rarely seen a frame that looks as nice as these do in the raw state. You know, the carbon's absolutely
no preparation, which means you can put all that money into like the most beautiful paint job you can imagine. And
exactly.
Absolutely stunning. So one last question then: what was the biggest challenge? What was the thing that like really? How am I going to do this? Was there anything on there that was like?
Yeah. So, like we talked about, the polka dots in the fork were definitely the most challenging. Yeah. But one of the really fun ones to bring to life was the Time branding logo when we were trying to copy the style of the Shimano poster. Yeah. So that was quite a cool process to go through. And this fade, Yeah, exactly. And just trying to get the colours right, that was quite a cool process. And we made sure we were really happy with it beforehand. And then when we went to do it onto the frame, it was kind of just stepping through the process. I think it's come out really cool. Fantastic. Right, let's go and hide this somewhere before Sally arrives.
So who is this special lady that's going to receive this bike? Well, Sally is my best friend going back to 2007 when we met through adventure racing. Since then, Sally went on to compete in loads of races around the world, being super successful in some of the biggest teams in the world. In the last few years, she's been taken to bike packing and trying to set the fastest known times, the FKTs as they're known, across many of the classic bike packing routes, and she's been setting absolutely astronomical times. You might have seen it on the channel before a long time ago. But most of all, she was the very first person when I went self-employed to actually pay me money for doing what I loved, and that was fixing bikes. And that's a really powerful memory. For anyone that's ever gone self-employed, you always remember that very first customer. Almost 10 years later, we are still servicing Sally's fleet of bikes, and she now actually accounts for almost 1% of our total revenue. That is what you call a loyal customer. Right now, Sally works as an outdoor pursuits coach and as a self-development coach as well, working with some of our wounded soldiers. So far, the story is that Sally has dropped off her Cannondale Topstone in for service and repair. In fact, she wants to upgrade some of her Groupset. Now, she brought that bike during COVID when the stock was so sparse that we couldn't really help her out, and she was forced to buy it from somewhere else. So she thinks she's coming here to come and collect that, but I couldn't hijack her completely, so I gave her a little hint that we might have a bit of a surprise for her, and I need to hook her up with a microphone. This is my best friend, Sally. Come in, Sally. I'm so excited. So, Sally, you were the first customer who ever paid me to do a bike repair as a self-employed person. And almost 10 years later, I've got the opportunity to repay that favour and show you how much that's meant to me. I want to introduce you to someone who's helped us with this project. This is Tom.
Sally, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Tom's from a company called Big Lit Customs.
Okay.
Who does custom painting frames.
Oh no.
And Tom would really love to show you what he's put together for you.
Okay.
Come and take a seat.
Cool. So we were in a couple of weeks ago with Paul and we were talking through a few designs, and one we thought was really cool was almost like a vintage alpine style. You know, Paul said you spend quite a lot of time in the hills and that kind of thing. So we took inspiration from a few different areas. We've got the classic Chamonix poster here. We particularly love the kind of the font and the text on it. Here's a car we found. We took quite a lot of inspiration from. We felt the colours kind of matched that vintage style. Obviously a little bit different in itself. And then we've got some of the classic Henry Rivers posters. Like, what do you think of all this kind of stuff?
Oh, I think it's cracking. I really like the classic, yeah, that's a classic Chamonix poster providing, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm drawn to it because it's all the mountains, which...
Yeah, exactly. So we were kind of bringing inspiration from a few different areas. Got up a few colours here, trying to find the right colours that brought the mood of the classic alpine style through. So here's the design we ended up drawing up together.
What do you think?
It's amazing.
Is there anything that stands out on there for you?
It says time.
Do you want to see your new bike?
Yeah, because I don't have a time bike. What's going on here? Ah! Oh my God.
Sally, this is for you. I just want to say a massive thank you for believing in me, and
oh my God.
It's such an honour to be able to put this together for you and say thanks for being my first customer who nurtured everything we've got here. So this is second video sponsor was Time. Thank you to Time. We did everything else, hopefully to your specifications. Come here.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Thank you so much, Paul. Flipping heck. Do you know what? People know my character. I'm lost for words, which is an amazing thing for me to say. Absolutely. This is amazing. Oh my God. I am totally 100% lost for words, which is, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm just overwhelmed, Paul. And I know, you know, supporting you in your journey and where Matt has come. And I've always come back. I always do come back, you know, without a doubt, because I know I'm confident that you provide a service and you look after me. Because the thing is about it is about the bike, but it's all the stuff around the bike.
You have to stop because I'm crying my eyes out.
No. It's amazing.
Honestly,
and
like,
you painted this?
Yeah, so we brought this together. Like I said, we sat down, did the design with Paul, and then brought it to life.
I really wasn't expecting this at all. I was saying to Nigel, my mate over there who's just came in the car, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to come talk about the new routing on my top stone that I'm struggling with. And
oh, we did that too.
Oh, no way. You haven't.
Just in case you didn't like it, we made sure that we put your other bike right as well.
I do like this bike, but this is flipping amazing. Oh my God. I can't wait to get on it. I can't wait to ride it. I really can't. What are you boys doing tomorrow? Who wants to go riding?
Hopefully we'll go for a ride and we'll let you guys know what Sally thinks of this actually outdoors. I got so emotional doing that after the fight and struggle of the last 10 years. It is so amazing right now to just be in a position to be able to do something like this for such a great friend. For me, I think what made this video really extra special was just being reminded that as much as Sally got us started in the very early days and showed that belief, is that when Tom came to us with this fantastic project and we saw his detail and his passion, we just wanted to get involved and see if we can spark Tom's business the same way as Sally put the spark into ours. So if this video has sparked your imagination, your inspiration for your own custom build, give us a call. Let's see if we can make it happen. And finally, don't forget to get in the comments, tell us, do you love it? Do you hate it? It's all good. Give it a thumbs up if you do. And please consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, take it easy.
I'm absolutely... Nigel, check my wheels out!
Well, I do.
Nigel had to keep this a secret all day from you.
Did you know about this? Oh my God! I've been sat in the car going, oh yeah, I'm doing this piece to camera. Sorry, I do apologise, I'm screaming about it.
Really? That sounds exciting.
You kept that so well from me. Oh my God! You cheeky little fuck.